last time I told you how we had Inca in Noosa, but there is part of the story that I haven't told you yet.
I used to bite people. Mum, look. Okay. Avocado toast with lemon, salt, pepper, and
Smoked salmon?
yeah.
Yeah? Nice.
Yep. This is olive.
Hi, Olive. So there we were in Noosa. Inca was, you know, the happy little toddler, carefree, barefoot, running on the beach, and, you know, it was just the most amazing way to live. We really enjoyed it. By the time school came up, we already knew the kind of childhood we wanted for her. Didn't we, Inks?
Mm-hmm.
When you finish that, Inks, can you make me a chai?
Yeah.
Thanks. So Inca gave us another chance at parenting, and we definitely looked at everything so differently. We were definitely drawn to the Steiner philosophy, so we obviously did a little bit of homework into how we wanted to bring Inca up. So really the main aspect of Steiner is the focus on nature and to explore the natural world through, you know, your gardening and your nature walks and your outdoor activities. Not only does it help the child have an understanding of the environment, but it also their sense of wonder and awe. So a deep connection to nature, and I think that's where Inca has learnt to appreciate the beauty and the complexity of the world around her. So we would have these little play areas that when Inca would wake up in the morning, we'd have, you know, this little, we would have all these little timber toys. We'd have baskets filled with like little gum nuts, and we'd make gum nut babies. We would have clay, so she could make little things with clay and sticks and, you know, little things that we'd find from the garden, we would bring in, or I would bring in and put in these baskets. So when she'd wake up in the morning, she was only young, she was only 3 at the time, 2 or 3. But we would have all these little things, so when she woke up, she could go straight in there. She had a little art corner, always painting, whether it was painting, designing. She was very, very good, and that's a huge part of, you know, where she's at today. With her art, she does not stop designing. She wakes up. This morning she woke up at, I'm not kidding, 6 o'clock, 6:30, which is normal. She's normally, no, it's not normal. Normally she's up at 5:30, but she was making at 6:30 all that mess over there. But I think she's gonna come and show you in a minute what it all is. Always making, always baking, always creating. And like I said, natural. We had all our doors open. Even when it was raining, we loved it. A little bit of rain, little sprinkles would come through, and it was really a magical part of starting her journey. And then we'd have the mud kitchen outside, and that was pretty much just a table, a little white table with a little timber table with all her different, you know, pots and pans, and we made little hangers, and, you know, it was nothing fancy. It was really just simple, and she would go outside all the time and just do her, as she calls it, tipping. She'd be all these tipping with all these different, you know, sauces, and her cousin Perry would come over all the time, and they would tip together. They'd make mud pies, they'd be sprinkling stuff on top. I'd get like little bottles and fill it with, you know, maybe different colour sand. Like we'd go to the beach and we'd get white sand, and our backyard was black sand. So you had black pies with this white coffee in there. I would have, you know, rice, salt. I'd give her flour and water, and then she'd make something. It was grand. It was amazing. I absolutely loved it. We knew exactly which way we wanted to guide her.
Do you like my moon? I'm not done.
A moon head.
No, it's just a moon where you can, so you like get paper mache, like you do all of that and make a moon. And then you put these little shells, and then you paper mache the inside. And then like when you paper mache everything on the outside and like all that, and then you can like, when it dries, you can put stuff in these little spaces.
And put it on your
And then
wall.
Put it, whoops, sorry. And then put it on your wall like that, and it'll just sit there.
That's pretty cool. Oh, I love that. A moon. It's actually going to be a full moon tonight. Thanks, Ink. Making me a chai. It's school holidays too, so Ink is home with me today. And then we're doing something special in the next couple of days. But we're home today. So we were always out in the community. We would always do like cleaning the beaches. Do you remember that, Inks? Remember that time we were always cleaning up the beaches? And the turtles, and you know, very much on that climate path of, you know, looking after Earth, treating, you know, Mother Earth the right way.
Whales eat plastic now, fish eats plastic, and some sealed and what's octopuses? Oh, and octopuses.
You would go to climate change events.
What's that?
Save my future.
Yeah.
Don't burn my world. Yeah. And then you even were the face of, you probably can't remember, the face of Koala Crusaders, Queensland Koala Crusaders. You probably don't remember that. I think you're only about 2. And we ended up going to the Australia Zoo. And Inka, remember when you started drawing these? So she started making these little koalas. She was probably about 3 at that time, $1 or $2 for the little cards. Do you remember? No. And we'd obviously, the money would then get raised and go to Koala Crusaders. So,
I crocheted a book thing.
a book cover. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
So for your book, what's that? Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yeah.
That's cool. You could make it into a little, oh yeah,
A little
little bag.
That'd be just cool.
Maybe you could make it into a hat. Yeah, that actually looks quite cool, Inks. Looks like you've got cat ears. Yeah. Quite good. Yeah, it's got 2 uses. So Inka went to Nature Weavers when she was little. She probably would have been about 4. Yeah, you were 4. That was fun, wasn't it? We went to Bush Kindy before that. It does look good.
I need to make another.
How about you finish this project first? We went to Bush Kindy and I ended up, well, all the parents volunteer anyway, but we helped to look after the property, and obviously it's a bush block, and everything that we did and we made was with natural materials, whether we were making crocheting. We did like sort of crocheting with or weaving, a lot of weaving. Yeah, we made like little hives for bees, little timber little hives. We obviously made our own mulch, and we looked after, you know, the organic garden. Inks. But what was really special is you went to Nature Weavers. Do you remember that?
What?
Do you remember going to Nature Weavers with Carly?
Yeah.
So that was pretty special. They would start, you would drop her off, and you would start with like little games. Again, it was all nature based. Everything was made from little honky nuts to counting the numbers to you know, little bowls of clay, using sort of that sensory, you know, using your motor skills and your sensory skills. It was just really gorgeous. It was about 3 or 4 hours, 1 day a week, 2 days a week maybe for Inks. And she immersed herself right into nature. So every day they'd be outside. They would be bushwalking. They get their little raincoats and their cute little boots, and yeah, they just go off into the bush, and Carly was amazing. There were water holes where they would swim. They'd collect like little, you know, like they'd find worms and find like all these little, take themselves like a little magnifying glass. Really, it was just total immersion into the earth. Definitely changes your life when you can see how much it changes your child. They're there for a short time, really, but really I think that's had a huge impact on Inca today. We would have these afternoons where my sister would come over, my sister Kate, my beautiful sister Kate, and we would she would come over in the afternoon after Perry finished school, and the kids would go straight to the corner, or the little art corner, and they're baking and they're making, and they'd play instruments all the time. I had these little flutes and they thought it was the best things. I think I had a little accordion, I had a little ukulele, and Kate and I would just be sitting there just like pissing ourselves. It was so funny. They just loved it. Totally immersion of music and sound, and I really loved it. That was probably my biggest memory of being over there, is having Perry, my little man, love my Perry, having him over there with Inca, and just, you know, he'd go to a mainstream school, so he would do his normal at school, and then he'd come and it'd just be fun at Kim's. Not saying it wasn't fun at school for him. He loved school, but it was different when we came to our house. Yeah, we had all this stuff just everywhere, and the kids could go hell for leather. They could just do anything. I didn't care about the mess at all. I just let them play, let them do what they need to do, and then obviously clean it up after. But those memories of being there with my sister, yeah, I really miss her, still miss her. We talk every day, not the same though. So we put our names down for Steiner in Noosa quite early on. I think it was 2018. When was Inca born? 15. So when she was 3, we put her name down. So we were on the waiting list, and it was always, we were always just checking in. We would always just ring and say, you know, how are we going? And that waiting list, or the list just wouldn't move. She wouldn't get any higher. It was just a waiting game, and we were just wondering why nothing was opening up for us. And at the time it was really frustrating, because we're thinking, why is this not happening for us? We're the right child to go into that Steiner school. Just didn't happen. We decided we couldn't get into Steiner. We didn't know what to do. So we thought that we'd give a local primary school a go. At that time, the COVID rules were really strict. They told me to drop her at the gate. Now, I had an anxious child already, but they told me to drop her at the gate. I said no. They told me to drop her at the end of the line as they were going to class. I said no. They said I could only drop her to the door. I said no. And I ended up sitting in the back of the class with Inks. She was at the front of the class, and she was looking at me the whole time. It was just not what I wanted at all. The room was really bright. Those fluorescent lights, it was really bright, and it was colourful. Everything hanging, everything, it was just too colourful, and I think it just overwhelmed me, and surely it would have overwhelmed Inca. It was a lot to take in. Oh, it's pouring down out there. Right then, I decided that this is just not her world. This is not for her. She went for 2 days, and I think on that second day they called me to pick her up, which I had to meet her at the office. I couldn't pick her up in class. And I picked her up and we never went back. Yeah, so there was a lot of things that were uncertain at the time with COVID, and the girls, Mia and Claudia, raced across the border of, obviously all the way into WA, raced across the border and got there just in time before it shut down. And I think they did the trip from Queensland to WA in a week, or just under a week, which was, it was really fast, but they had to get there before the border shut. And we're trying to figure out what to do with Inca, so we just didn't know what to do. So knowing that the girls went home, you know, they were older, but we were still missing our babies, and we couldn't get into Steiner. So we thought, in Noosa, so we thought, why don't we just try the Steiner here in Gracetown? So we called them, and they said, it's your lucky day. We've got one position to fill. It wasn't an easy decision leaving Noosa. We had already built 6 years there, or 5.5, and it was magical. It was really, really lovely, and I think for my sister and I, excuse me, I think the hardest thing for me was leaving my sister, but we knew it was the right decision, and having that position that came up, we had to take it. And then 5 months later we moved back. So Inca now, she's in Steiner in Yellingup, and she's been there ever since we've got back. So she's now class 5, she's 11 years old. She's happy, she's creative, she's very independent. She's the wild child that we exactly wanted her to be, or she wants to be. So we left Noosa to give Inca exactly what she needed. And in a funny twist, Inca's actually booked to go back to Steiner High School in Noosa in 2028, where she'll obviously complete or start her high school journey. Isn't it funny how life loops itself, loops itself back? So thanks for sitting with me today and watching my videos. I've been really quite blown away with everything that I've received, and especially your comments, so keep them coming. So thank you. Oh, I've got to go get Inca. Inca! Yeah. Come and say goodbye. Okay, well thank you. Thanks for watching, and we will talk to you again soon. Bye. Bye.
Bye!
Bye. Another opera singer. Oh, nice. Bye. Cuddle.